Hello and welcome to another session of the My Solo 401k Financial Daily Webinar Series. If you have questions or topics that you wish to discuss, please chat those over now so that we can be sure to get to them all. As always, the presentation is being provided for educational purposes only and should not be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice, nor as a solicitation. When making an investment decision, please consult with your tax attorney and financial professional. All right, great. So welcome again to our daily Solo 401k webinar and Q&A session with my Solo 401k Financial, where we help you to stop overpaying taxes and start building real retirement wealth. Today's topic, Schwab RIAs. Secure your clients' 2025 Solo 401k contributions, but only if you act by December 31st. This is your chance to get answers. Please use the chat now to ask questions on today's topic or anything else. Please, again, chat them over now so that we can be sure to get to them all. Let's get started. So let's dive in to our discussion by laying the foundation around solo 401k eligibility. A solo 401k is an owner-only plan designed specifically for self-employed individuals with no full-time W-2 employees. So there's two elements, there's two criteria in order to be eligible. Number one, you need to be self-employed. And the way that you demonstrate that self-employment is by reporting earned self-employment income. So for example, if your business is taxed as an S Corp or a C Corporation, you would demonstrate that by receiving W-2 wages from your business that's taxed as an S Corp or a C Corp. Whereas your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship. It could be a single member LLC taxed as a sole proprietorship. In that case, you demonstrate earned self-employment income by reporting income on Schedule C of your 1040. Lastly, if your business files a 1065, it's taxed as a partnership. Earned self-employment income is income reported on line 14 of the K1 that you receive from your business taxed as a partnership. Now, the other part of the eligibility criteria is that you cannot have any non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees working for any business owned by you or a spouse, if any. So full-time is someone that's working 1,000 hours or more per year with 1 year of service, or 500 hours or more per year for 2 consecutive years. So that means that you can have contractors, right? Because those are not W-2 employees. You can have part-time employees, but you need to make sure that they don't exceed those hour requirements that we just laid out. Now, you can still have your spouse working in the business, even participating in the plan. It's still considered to be a solo 401k. Your spouse just needs to be reporting earned self-employment income. In addition, you can have a business partner that's working in the business and participating in the solo 401k plan, as long as that individual is at least a 3% or more owner, and that individual is reporting earned self-employment income. It's also noteworthy that you could have a W-2 day job. You could even participate in your W-2 employer-sponsored plan and set up a solo 401k for your side business, for your side hustle, as long as you're otherwise meeting those solo 401k requirements of reporting earned self-employment income with no non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees working for any business owned by you or a spouse, if any. So the key deadline for 2025 solo 401k contributions is December 31st. So to preserve the ability to make all types of contributions for 2025 by the self-employed business tax return deadline, including extension in 2026, is December 31st. So the plan needs to be in place by the end of the year to lock in those options, to keep all your options open. So for those advisors who custody at Schwab, you don't need to open up the accounts. The clients don't need to make the contributions by the end of the year. You just need to have the plan in place. And so a solo 401k plan is a legal entity. So like any legal entity, it's the documents that create it. A 401k is a trust. Specifically, it's a federal retirement trust. So in order to establish the plan, you just need to have the documents in place by December 31st. You don't need to open up the accounts. You don't need to make the contributions. The clients can take their time to determine how much they want to contribute, take their time to open up the accounts and actually deposit those contributions. And what's great about the solo 401k offered by my solo 401k Financial is that we're neutral as far as where the accounts are at. So the accounts can be at the bank or brokerage of choice. So for advisors that custody at Schwab, they most certainly can be at Schwab. We've helped thousands and thousands of customers open up accounts at Schwab. So these can be accounts on Schwab's institutional platform, where the account is associated with the advisor, and the advisor can help manage the investments. Specifically, the type of accounts that are set up at Schwab are referred to as company retirement accounts, CRA accounts. This is just Schwab's internal language that refers to a brokerage account that's set up for a third-party solo 401k plan. So the clients are obtaining the 401k plan documents from my solo 401k Financial that will allow them to do all the things that they want to do, whether that's make Mega Backdoor Roth contributions or claim $1,500 in tax credits or the ability to take a 401k loan. All of that comes from the documents, but they can have the accounts at Schwab. So now the advisor can help manage the investments. So in terms of the December 31st deadline, the key is to focus on the paperwork first, because that's what establishes the plan. As long as the plan is in place by December 31st, then that'll keep all the options open. Now this solopreneur can make all types of contributions for 2025, whether employee, employer, or Mega Backdoor Roth contributions by their business tax return deadline, including any time they filed extension in 2026. You don't need to open up the accounts. They don't need to obtain an EIN number for the solo 401k. They don't need to fund the accounts by December 31st. They can take their time with all of those things. And of course, we're very hands-on when it comes time to open up the accounts, right? We obtain the EIN number, we pre-fill the paperwork to open up the Schwab CRA accounts, et cetera, et cetera. So it's, in short, you can think of it as a two-step process. Sign up with my solo 401k Financial by December 31st. We generate the plan documents within the same business day. So it could be as late as December 31st and still meet the deadline. Then take your time to open and fund the accounts by the 2025 business tax return deadline, including extension in 2026. And we'll guide you through the process step by step when it's time to open up the accounts. So the role of Schwab in this case is not to be the plan provider. The solo 401k plan is not provided by Schwab. Of course, Schwab offers their own plan, but it's a very basic plan, right? It doesn't allow for Mega Backdoor Roth contributions. It doesn't allow for the ability to take a solo 401k loan. It doesn't allow for the ability to claim $1,500 in tax credits. Schwab is not handling the 5500 EZ like my solo 401k Financial does for those clients that let us know that they need to have a 5500 EZ in a timely fashion. In that case, we don't charge a fee for that. It's provided as a service for no additional charge. Schwab is not going to do the 5500 EZ for their basic plan, but Schwab will still open up accounts for third-party plans. So the client can obtain the documents from my solo 401k Financial, but have the accounts at Schwab, including Schwab's institutional platform. So the advisor can help manage the accounts, et cetera, et cetera. And Schwab does support fully featured plans, right? They'll open up multiple accounts. For example, if the clients want to make Mega Backdoor Roth contributions, they'll open up accounts for third-party plans with all the advanced features that the clients want. So as far as what it takes to meet the deadline, it's really just 3 steps, right? The client or the advisor on behalf of the client submits the application on my solo 401k Financial's website, mysolo401k.net. You can quickly and easily find it. Just click on open account, then solo 401k. It's just a 1-minute application. This is how we're capturing the information about the client and their business so that we can draft the solo 401k plan documents. We then draft those documents within the same business day after the application and payment is made. An email goes out to the client where they can access the documents from the secure document portal. They could just download and sign the documents. They don't need to send the documents back. They don't need to let us know where they want to open up the accounts. All of that can happen next year by their business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension. Now, if the advisor wants to be copied, What a lot of clients and their advisors find works well is to include the advisor's email on the application. So the last question that we ask is the name of the plan. It's best to use 2 words in the word trust. It could be a derivative of their business name, or it could be something totally unrelated, right? It could be their favorite color, their favorite animal, right? The blue elephant trust. And so when they submit that information, 2 words in the word trust, they can add additional notes, additional context. So they could put Blue Elephant Trust, then please copy the name and email address of the advisor, or the advisor could be entering this information, include their name and email address. So that way, we'll copy the advisor on the communications. We'll copy the advisor in that email that goes out that same business day after the application and payment is made. So the advisor could also access the documents. The advisor could also access the secure upload to upload the completed and signed pages. The advisor could also submit that next steps questionnaire to tell us that the advisor wants to open up the accounts at Schwab. And one of the drop down options in that next steps questionnaire, where you're telling us where to open up the accounts or where you want to open up the accounts, is Schwab Institutional. So that'll prompt us to obtain the EIN number specifically for the solo 401k, and as well as prepare the paperwork that Schwab requires to open up those CRA accounts at Schwab Institutional. So completing those steps is going to keep all the options open, because now the client can make all types of contributions for 2025 by their business tax return deadline, including extension in 2026. So again, step 1, that's how we capture the information that's needed to draft the documents. Once payment is made and the application is submitted, we prepare those documents within the same business day. So that's going to include the adoption agreement, the trust agreement, the IRS favorable determination letter, which confirms that the plan is a qualified plan. So when someone makes a contribution to a 401k, it needs to go to a qualified 401k plan so that they can reap those tax benefits, whether it's a pre-tax contribution that reduces their taxable income now for the year for which they make the contribution, or if it's a Roth contribution or a Mega Backdoor Roth contribution that has that potential for tax-free growth. So again, the email goes out, copy the advisor if the advisor's email is included on the application. From that link, from that email, you'll be able to download the documents, sign the documents, and then again, you could take your time to return the completed and signed documents, take your time to submit the next steps questionnaire when you're ready to open up the accounts. So when you're ready to open up the accounts, now you upload the completed and signed pages, you submit that next steps questionnaire, or the advisor can do it on your behalf. For example, you could choose Schwab Institutional. Then we go to the IRS, we obtain the EIN number that's specifically for the solo 401k. This is an EIN number that's different than the EIN number that the client might have for their self-employed business, right? This is the IRS expectation that a separate EIN number is obtained for the 401k. So we meet that expectation. We obtain the EIN number for the solo 401k. That is then used to draft the paperwork to open up those company retirement accounts at Schwab, those brokerage accounts at Schwab that are opened up for a third-party plan. Then another email goes out where you can link to the secure portal to download the pre-filled application to open up the CRA accounts. There's applications simply completed, signed, and submitted to Schwab to open up the accounts. Once the accounts are opened up at Schwab, now you can fund the accounts. And again, all of this can happen in 2026, or if you want to, you can start now. So you can fund the account by making contributions, or you can fund the account by rolling over money from another eligible retirement account, like a former employer plan or a non-Roth IRA. In either case, we're very hands-on in helping clients, right? We answer questions every day, educating them on the contribution rules. We help clients every day roll over money to their solo 401k, right? And we leverage all of our years and years of experience, right? 15 plus years of experience helping clients transfer funds from hundreds of different institutions, where we have a deep knowledge base knowing how those institutions work, right? We have experience with their forms and the process, that we can leverage that experience to make the process easy for the client. And now you're set where you can start to take advantage of the solo 401k. So yes, this is an open session, so please don't hesitate to chat over questions or whether on this topic or anything else. We're going to turn to those questions in a second. Just to go quickly through some FAQs. What do I have to do by December 31st? You just need to establish the plan. How do you establish the plan? It's the documents, because a 401k is a legal entity. So like any legal entity, it's the documents that create it. My solo 401k financial makes it very easy to meet the deadline because we put the plan documents in place within the same business day when someone signs up. So you just need to sign up by the end of the year. Then you can take your time to open up the bank or brokerage accounts. You can take your time to make the contributions. You can take your time to obtain the EIN number specifically for the solo 401k, which we do obtain that EIN number as part of the onboarding process. Is the tax return deadline my personal tax return deadline or my self-employed business tax return deadline? It's the self-employed business tax return deadline. So for example, if your business is taxed as an S corporation, that's going to be March 16th, 2026, since the 15th falls on a Sunday. Or if a timely extension is filed for that 1120S, that S corporation tax return, September 15th of 2026. Now, of course, if your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship, where you're reporting that earned self-employment income on your 1040, really your 1040 is your business tax return deadline. So in that case, the contribution deadline, as long as you sign up by the end of the year, is April 15th or October 15th if you file a timely extension for your 1040. If I adopt the plan in December 2025, how can I make contributions based on income that I earned in January 2025? Well, the industry best practice, which is our practice, is for the plan to be effective as of January 1st, even if it's adopted in December 2025. So, as such, you're able to make contributions for any self employment income earned and reported for 2025. My CPA tax advisor is informing me that employee contributions must be made by December 31st, 2025. Are you sure that I can make this contribution in 2026? Yes, we are, because the rules are different for solo 401k plans. The rules are different for self employed individuals. If you have a full time employer plan through a day job, right? If you're just working for a company and they offer a 401k plan, yes, as an employee, you have to make the contribution by the end of the year, but for self-employed individuals, you have more time. Per IRS publication 560, which is the landmark guidance for self-employed retirement plans like solo 401k plans, as long as the plan is established by the end of the year, that'll preserve the ability to make all types of contributions for 2025 by the business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension in 2026. And it makes sense from a policy perspective because a lot of self-employed individuals don't know how much they've made until the end of the year. They might have a seasonal business where they're working all the way up to the last day of the year, and they don't know exactly how much they made until after the end of the year. And of course, your ability to contribute to the plan is based off of your earned self-employment income. So it makes sense that you would have more time to determine how much you're going to contribute and actually make those contributions. And you'll keep all your options open as long as you sign up by December 31st. So that takes us to the end of the slides that we wanted to share. Thank you so much for your participation. We want to ask you to please like this video as it helps us to get the word out to other solopreneurs, other advisors like you. Please subscribe to our channel, and you also get notifications of when we go live. We go live every day. So that way you'll get notifications of when you go live. You can come and ask questions. You can hear the topics that we want to share. So whether you're on LinkedIn, you're on YouTube, you're on X, you're on Instagram, please like, please subscribe. So our first question is from Netta. Thank you so much for bringing the question, Netta. I make about $90,000 annually. I have about $100,000 in savings, but no retirement accounts. My financial advisor recommended I open an account with you in order to take advantage of the Mega Backdoor Roth option. He said that without after-tax contributions, the max I can contribute this year is $34,750, and with after-tax, I can do $45,000. I'm trying to figure out if it is worth it to go this route since it seems complicated. Well, that's a great question. I could definitely share that one of the top reasons the clients sign up with us is the ability to make those Mega Backdoor Roth contributions. So, for example, if you were to open up just a basic vanilla plan at a discount brokerage like a Fidelity or a Schwab, they don't offer the ability to make those Mega Backdoor Roth contributions. Now, the decision whether to make those contributions, of course, is a question for you and your tax advisor, for your investment advisor. But this is definitely the place to be able to do it. And the reasons I would say people do it, of course, is they can save more to their retirement account and they can do it on a Roth basis. Because ultimately, when you make a mega backdoor Roth contribution, those funds are going in on an after-tax basis, so it doesn't reduce their taxable income now for the year for which they make the contribution. But then going forward, like any money that's in a Roth account, they have the potential for tax-free growth. So as long as when they ultimately withdraw the funds, they do it as a qualified Roth distribution. For example, when they're withdrawing funds from a Roth solo 401k, as long as they've had those funds for at least 5 years and they're at least 59 and a half years of age, then they could withdraw all the money, including any gains that accrued in that Roth account, totally tax free. The other thing that I would note is that we definitely have deep, deep experience helping many, many clients through those mega backdoor Roth contributions. So we hold our clients' hands through it and try to make it as easy as possible. It is a two-step process, but we have lots of experience helping clients through that process. And of course, if your advisor custodies at a certain institution, they may also be able to help, just with the mechanics of making the contribution and then moving it over to the Roth. Hopefully that helps. Please let us know if there's any additional questions. General Q&A, yes. Thanks for bringing questions. Oh, thank you so much for the kind words. We appreciate it, Patrick. I'm currently filing as a sole prop. I did some math and can see that I might save around $8,000 in self-employment tax if I switch to an S corp. Will I be able to use my solo 401k if I switch? Will I be able to switch for 2025 or should I just switch for 2026 and start then? Yes, you could definitely still keep your solo 401k. It's not uncommon that clients will start out taxed as one type of business and then change how their self-employed business is taxed. And actually, what you describe is kind of the classic scenario where they start out as a sole prop and then graduate, you could say, to an S corp. And that oftentimes is the motivation to switch to an S corp, is to be able to save on self-employment tax. Now, there is a bit of a tension, right? Because your ability to contribute to the plan as an S corp is going to be based on the W-2 wages that you receive from the S corp. So there's a tension in the sense that from an S corp perspective, in terms of saving on self-employment tax, in simple terms, the idea is that now you're able to divide the income that you earn from the business between income that you earn as an employee, which is reported as W-2 wages, and income that you earn as an owner. So all things being equal, if the individual is able to work with their tax advisor and keep their W-2 wages relatively low, that'll reduce their self-employment tax. But as you reduce your W-2 wages, that reduces your ability to contribute to the solo 401k. That's what I mean when I say there's a tension, right? Because your ability to contribute to a solo 401k is based on those W-2 wages. Let's say that your W-2 wages are $50,000. Well, now the individual is not going to be able to save more than $50,000, right? Because you can't save more than you earn. But that tension is somewhat relieved, at least for those that want to make mega backdoor Roth contributions. Because, for example, for 2025, the overall limit is $70,000. So as long as you have at least $70,000 of W-2 wages, you could still make a mega backdoor Roth contribution of $70,000 because you can make a voluntary after-tax contribution of 100% of your W-2 wages, not to exceed the overall limit, which is $70,000 for 2025, and then move those funds over to either a Roth solo 401k or a Roth IRA. So now that they have the potential for tax-free growth. So for some, they say, okay, well, I'm getting some of that benefit of switching to an S corp because I'm, say, reducing my wages to 70,000 if it would have otherwise been higher, but I'm still keeping my ability to max out my solo 401k at least as a mega backdoor Roth contribution. So that tension can somewhat be relieved. Now, the process is a document update, right? So when customers change how their self-employed business is taxed, they don't need to change the name of their plan. They don't need to change their solo 401k accounts or investments. They just need to update the documents to show that now the sponsor of the solo 401k is this S corporation. So we do prepare those plan amendments as a service for our clients. We do charge a one-time fee since we have to draft plan amendment documents, but you don't, again, need to change the investments or the accounts. The name of the plan can stay the same. Now, as far as the timing, that would really be a question for your tax advisor, whether you're able to switch to an S Corp for 2025, or if you have to wait until 2026, and then whether you should do it now or wait until 2026 is a question for your tax advisor, whether as rather than a solo 401k question. But we definitely can handle that plan update, that document update as part of our service. Hopefully that helps. Great question. All right, if there's more questions, please don't hesitate to chat them over now so we can be sure to get to them. And again, if this information is helping you feel more confident about your future, please take 1 second to like and subscribe. We want to take a moment to invite you to our community. We have the largest community of solo 401k owners, solopreneurs, advisors around this solo 401k and related topics. Please don't hesitate to join at mysolo401k.net/my community. It's totally free to join. All are welcome. You don't need to be a client. Anyone that's interested, you can join quickly and easily at mysolo401k.net/my community. So please don't hesitate to join. There's lots of great resources there. Like we have vibrant forums, so, with over 30,000 members, there's vibrant forums. There's a library of videos and webinars. So there's a ton of ways to learn and to share the knowledge. Well, it looks like that's it for today's Solo 401k session. Thank you so much for investing your time with us. Your time is valuable and your retirement future is worth it. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe so we can keep building this Solo 401k community. We'll be back here tomorrow with more crucial content to help you secure your retirement.